Lewis Hamilton was forced to retire when he faced struggles this season after being lapped by rival Max Verstappen at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And why is this? Let's find out. Hey F1 friends, in this video we are going to find out why Max Verstappen forced Lewis Hamilton to retire at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and what did Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko say about it. And let us dig in. Lewis Hamilton was advised that he should have withdrawn from Formula One before this season got off to a very bad start. The Mercedes driver and seven-time world champion had a difficult day during the Grand Prix of Emilia Romagna, where he ended up finishing 13th overall and only moved up one place from where he started. To make matters even worse for him, his title rival from the previous season and race winner Max Verstappen passed him during the race, and he was also soundly defeated by his teammate George Russell, who finished just outside the podium places in fourth place. This was a particularly unfortunate turn of events for him. After his controversial loss to Max Verstappen in the 2021 title decider in Abu Dhabi, there was talk that Lewis Hamilton might retire from Formula One at the end of the previous season. He made the decision to continue racing, despite the fact that after only 4 races, he is 7th in the standings and is already 58 points behind Charles Leclerc, who is the leader in the championship. Red Bull and Mercedes were ardent competitors during the tight duel between Hamilton and Verstappen during the previous season, and the advisor for the former team, Helmut Marko, appears to be reveling in the difficulties that the British driver is experiencing. What did Red Bull's spiky advisor Helmut Marko tell Lewis Hamilton? Let's dig in. Following the competition, Marko made a lighthearted comment to Sky Sports News saying, he was lapped by us, so maybe he should have stopped last year." The Austrian went on to say that Hamilton must be thinking about retirement after his difficult beginning to the season because his Mercedes car has been troubled with porpoising and does not have the pace to keep up with the pace-setters Ferrari and Red Bull. Because of decisions made by Michael Masi, who has since been removed from his position as race director, Hamilton was passed by Max Verstappen on the final lap of the previous season, which effectively cost the British driver the race and prevented him from winning a record 8th driver's title. Despite the fact that there is still a significant amount of time left in the season, Hamilton has already declared that he will not be contending for the championship after suffering his first pointless performance of the year. After the race, he commented to Sky Sports, saying, "I'm out of it for sure. There is no denying it, but despite that, I am going to keep pushing myself to the limit in order to achieve my goal of putting everything back together again." After battling Verstappen throughout the season in 2021, it must have been a difficult sight for Hamilton to see the Red Bull driver pass him on lap 41 of the 63-lap race that took place on 24th April. However, in their post-race interviews, both Verstappen and Christian Horner, the principal of the Red Bull team, downplayed the significance of the incident. "Mercedes has been slow all year," Verstappen added, "so for me, it's not something remarkable, it simply happens." Meanwhile, Horner came to Hamilton's defense and stated that Mercedes will work through their problems. He stated, "He's obviously had a miserable weekend, but he's still a 7-time world champion. Despite his bad weekend, he is still a world champion. Since he hasn't forgotten how to drive in the last 4 races, I have no doubt that they'll figure out their problems at some point in the future and that he'll become a factor in the race. However, it is clear that the younger guys are putting in a lot of work right now to make up for the lost time." After 2 mechanical retirements in the first 4 races of the season, Verstappen enjoyed a perfect weekend, winning both of his races and retaining his title as world champion. He also finished first in the sprint race that took place on 23rd April, earning a perfect score and crossed the finish line a comfortable winner in a Red Bull 1-2 ahead of teammate Sergio Perez. After a late spin, the leader of the championship, Leclerc, fell from 3rd to 6th place, allowing the Dutchman to close the margin at the top of the standings to 27 points. After the huge controversy of Lewis Hamilton's retirement, how did Max Verstappen respond to it? You must be thinking about how an athlete responds to his rival. Well, this is just sportsmanship. Max Verstappen has responded to Toto Wolff's claim that Lewis Hamilton's future in the sport is not 100% certain after his Abu Dhabi loss. Wolff said that Hamilton's future in the sport is not 100% certain after his Abu Dhabi loss. Before the fun-filled FIA prize-giving gala in Paris, the Dutchman also gave his title rival some advice. Since Verstappen stole the world title from Hamilton on the lap at Yas Marina, there has been a lot of trouble in the news. Michael Masi, who is in charge of the race for the FIA, made a controversial decision to let drivers who had fallen behind the pass. This helped Verstappen beat the Brit and has made the Mercedes garage sad. As soon as a big fight was over, Hamilton seemed to accept defeat with grace, but it's clear that he was still very upset. Toto Wolff, the head of the Mercedes team, came out swinging again. He said that Lewis Hamilton will never get over what happened and that his future in F1 is uncertain. Wolff and the 7-time world champion have both decided not to go to the ceremony in Paris, where Verstappen will be a star. Still, the Dutchman took the time to talk about rumors that his title rival might not come back in 2022 to continue the fight. "Of course, I can see why you wouldn't be happy the first few days after a race like that," he said. "You should also know that this is racing and things like this can happen to you." I think he should just look back at what he has achieved, and that should give him a lot of comforts and that drive to keep on going. So what did Lewis Hamilton have revealed about retirement for the first time since the winter speculation? Lewis Hamilton has revealed for the first time that he truly considered retiring during the controversial Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The Mercedes driver went into the race with the same number of points as title rival Max Verstappen. As the race continued, he led comfortably and looked like he would win his 8th world title. But then came the now famous safety car procedure, which gave Verstappen the chance to pass him on the last lap, and the Dutchman took the checkered flag in dramatic fashion. Even though he acted with a lot of class right after the Grand Prix by congratulating his rival and thanking his fans and team members, Hamilton went silent for a while as rumors about his future grew. Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff said that the British driver was disillusioned by what happened at the Yas Marina and was thinking about leaving the sport. Hamilton didn't confirm that he would race for the Silver Arrows again in 2022 until this month. But in an interview, the 7-time champion admitted that he had wondered if he wanted to keep going. "At the end of any season, especially if you're around my age, you're probably thinking about the future," he said. "You're thinking about what the next steps are, what the right steps for you to take, and what will make you happy in the long run. So I always consider all my options." Even though he didn't win the championship, Hamilton ended the season by winning races in Brazil, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia before the last race of the season in Abu Dhabi, and he insisted that both his love of the sport and his own skill were as strong as ever. "I did promise the team at the beginning of the season," he said, "and I love what I do in the end. I love working with other people. I love working with everyone toward a common goal, and I've said that so many times. I'm at my best, so why do I have to go?" Hamilton will be back in 2022, but FIA race director Michael Masi won't be because of what he did during the safety car procedure and lost his job as a result. And that brings us to the end of the video. Feel free to let us know what you think about this video. And if you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for all things F1 news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.